Good evening, each and every one. My name is Latoya Washington, co-owner of Rhema Creations from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. So excited to be here with Speak Up Sis in the Chrysalis community for this wonderful virtual conference. And I just want to talk to you all to just share my testimony and my story about how I heard God correctly. And the reason why I say that is because there was a moment in my life where I was getting things wrong, thinking that I thought it was God when it really wasn't. It was my emotions. It was all these different whispers and ideas and thoughts from other people. But I had to learn how to be still and have that intimate time with the Lord to know his voice. For as John 10 tells us, his sheep know his voice. And so there was a moment in my life, and I'll share that tonight, where I was just feeling down and out, and it was in November, of 2016. And the Lord had spoken to me in a dream to go and see this woman. I never knew who this woman was. And he said to go see her. And just so happened that at the time, a pastor that I knew was having a conference. And this woman that I saw in my dream, her face was on the flyer. And I said, my God, okay, Lord, I don't know this woman. What do you want me to do? So me and my husband, we go to this conference, and the Lord spoke through her to tell her that there's too many people connected to you to give up, too many people connected to you to quit, because I wanted to quit. There were so many things going on in my life. I felt like everything that I had in mind, everything that I studied, 12 years of school, was going backwards. I felt like, what am I doing? I'm going around in circles and circles with this job. I'm getting turned down by new jobs, new opportunities. What is happening? It feels like I'm praying and going before the Lord. It seems like I thought I heard him, but it took this woman to say these words. And the reason why I bring up that story is because once I said yes, beautiful people, it felt like all hell seemed to break loose, which contradicted what I heard. And so it wasn't until a couple weeks ago, my God, that the Lord began to speak to me that you heard me correctly. So when that woman came in my dream over 5 years ago, and I didn't know who she was, this same woman has helped me to be an author, has now we're going to be working on another book together that will be coming out in April. So I didn't understand, because there was so much chaos that went on, that I started to question if I even heard God correctly, especially since there were times when I thought I heard God and really it was me. Oh my, I heard my emotions. I heard what I wanted. I heard what I felt was good for my life. But God was whispering sweetly that, no, go to the left. You want to go to the right. But me choosing what I wanted to choose, I thought I heard him say, go to the right. So there was moments where I did not hear him correctly. But in that time, reflecting these past few weeks, he told me, you heard me correctly. And he took me to John chapter 10. And there's some things that just pulled out from John chapter 10 was that the sheep know his voice. And it's like, I have this intimate time with the Father to know now that this doesn't sound like him because it don't line up with his word. So that's not what I'm going to listen to. So also in those mistakes I made when I did not hear him correctly, he showed me in his word, this is how you know that you are my sheep, because you know my voice, and a stranger you will not follow. And so that is what I had to learn. And I also knew that a shepherd enters through the sheep gate. He's not climbing over the wires or climbing over that fence. He's walking through that sheep gate, and the sheep know that as he walks through the sheep gate, that is our shepherd. And so he was showing me, this is how I'm entering in your life. I'm showing you the way. I'm showing you through the door, daughter. So I want you to know, continue to follow me, because you heard me correctly. You heard me even though it was so much chaos going on around you, even when there were naysayers, even when things didn't go as planned or didn't go how you thought. You heard me correctly. Continue to follow me. And I also know that as a sheep, and knowing his voice, I now flee from strangers and flee from those that are trying to kill, steal, and destroy, and submitted myself unto God and resisted the devil, and he will flee. I had to learn that in that intimate time with him, and to be still with him, to hear his voice. And one thing I learned also too in hearing God correctly is that word know means to have an observation, to have developed a relationship with the Father through meeting time and prayer time and fasting and in stillness and in quiet. I know when God is speaking and when he is not. And that even when he's silent, that is still my Father speaking to me, telling me to be still, telling me to wait, to be patient. And I want to encourage you that these things help me to know that I heard God correctly. Is first of all, I knew that I was safe despite all that was going on around me. I knew that I heard God correctly because it might have been chaos around me, but I'm telling you, I was safe. I was truly abiding in that shadow of the Almighty. I was truly sitting in that secret place with God where nothing could touch me, even if it attempted to. Weapons were being formed, but they were not prospering because I was obedient to my Father's voice, and I knew I heard him correctly. And I knew that he was covering me and keeping me safe as the good shepherd that he is. Another thing, too, I want to encourage you, for those tuning in, is that you will also find a green pasture to feed on and to just lay and rest in the Father because you heard him correctly. It may not come like everybody else. It may not come as fast as everybody else, but I'm telling you, I knew I heard him correctly because I was feeding off of the pasture. I was feeding off of God's word and the bread of life that was suitable for me, that was the right diet for me, that was encouragement to me. And so I thank God that he encouraged me by saying, you heard me correctly, daughter. I know it's so much going on, but stay obedient to those instructions. Sometimes we want to quit. Sometimes we want to give up. But stay obedient to those last instructions. Well, God, I haven't heard you say anything else. Stay obedient to those last instructions. Stay focused on what God has instructed you to do, because you did hear him correctly. You did hear him correctly. I'm telling you, God is faithful and his sheep know his voice, and we will not follow a stranger. We will not follow after the thief and the robber that climbs over the fence. We follow the shepherd who comes through the sheep gate, and we follow him and we respond to him and him alone. So I just want to encourage you tonight to just stay focused and know that you heard God correctly. Thank you so much for each and every one. And I thank you, Angel, for this opportunity. Be blessed.